Well, here I am, down here in the old river bottom, gravel road, dirt road, down here where the corn grows by itself because it ain't got nothing else to do. Yes, sir. And I'm on the KLE 500. Yep, there she is. I'm going to tell you something about the KLE 500. Well, first of all, I'll show you something. 2,264 miles on the KLE 500. It's actually a 451cc motor, 6-speed transmission. And the 451, you say, well, that's only a 415 to 500. Well, that's very true. That's true. But this bike, I rode, like I said, and I put them miles on it in about 3 months. About ready for another back tire. Well, that's one thing. The back tires, it's still got some tread on it, but the IRCs, I don't think they're going to last 5,000 miles. I really don't. So I have to find something a little bit better than the IRCs. I like the IRCs. Now, if they'd build that tire in a harder compound tire, it'd be great. But what they did is they're trying to compromise and make a soft compound tire that will hug the corners, and it's like, well, there again, you can't have one tire do it all. It's either going to be a road tire or it's going to be an off-road tire. Okay, it's hard to get a happy medium. But anyway, the KLE 500 at over 2,200 miles. I'm going to tell you what, I have had a blast on this bike. I have rode this thing everywhere. I have done almost everything on it. And you know what? The only complaint I got is I didn't have one sooner. This bike is a good all-around, do everything. And if a person can only afford one bike, and you're not really one extreme or the other extreme, and you just want to get in there and get your feet wet, this is the bike for you. I bar none. The only bike that would come close to it would be the 500X, but the 500X got, I think, 19-inch rims on it, and I just don't like 19s. This here has a 21 and a 17. The 21, it does just a fantastic job. I've hit loose gravel 50 mile an hour, 60 mile an hour, and this thing here, it says I don't care. It just does it. Now with this bike, the only thing I think they could change, or I can change, I can fix, is the skid plate. I'm not saying it ain't heavy enough. I'm just saying it don't go up high enough. So I'm gonna have to put a screen up there, because before I did the oil change on this thing, when I did the oil change, I looked, and there was a big dent in my oil filter. I'm going, oh shit. So that tells me that I've either got to do one of two things: either put a flap on the front fender to keep the rocks from flipping up there, or put some kind of screen on the skid plate. No big deal, okay? And probably the way I got the dent there was I was probably going too fast on the road that I shouldn't be going that fast on. And that's what I'm saying. When you get to extremes, you can get in trouble, okay? But if you do things in moderation and use things the way they're supposed to be used, you won't have any problems. All right. I've rode Shelby County, Moultrie County, Coles County, Cumberland County today so far. Just out jacking around, no destination, just seeing what I can get into. And this bike, I've got it on gravel roads, I've had it on blacktop roads, I've had it on highways, and I don't like interstate, so I haven't been on interstate with it yet. But I'll tell you a little story about that. Even though I haven't been on interstate, I wouldn't be afraid to take it on interstate, and I'll tell you the reason why. I was heading east on Route 16, and I was following this truck. And this truck was one of those trucks that looked like it had just a big, huge steel cage all around the bed there. And I don't know what kind of truck it was. I didn't really want to find out. It had things that was flopping and flapping in the breeze, and things that was jumping there time he hit a bump there, and I thought, you know what? I'm running 60 mile an hour behind this truck, and he's got all this junk bouncing every time he hits a bump. Do I really want to be hit behind him at 60 mile an hour in case some of that junk would fall off there? No, I don't. So, and here's this is testimony for this little 451cc cubic inch motor, okay? I run 60 mile an hour. I seen my chance, and I did not drop a gear. All I did was pull back the throttle, okay? And that thing jumped to 80 mile an hour, and just a little over 7 grand, and that thing smoothed out, just smooth as a kitten, and it just jumped up there real quick. I got around that truck with no problem at all. This bike is capable of high speeds, and it's stable at higher speeds. And that's what I'm saying. As far as the interstate goes, if you was going to get out there on the interstate and run 70 or 75, I don't think you have much more trouble. I don't like interstates, but that's just me. I like country roads, back roads. But anyway, the KLE 500 for a good all-around bike to get you into doing a little bit of everything. And I'll tell you what, I have just had a blast on this thing. It's like it's one of those, you see something and you say, can I do that? And the bike said, yeah, we can do that. And you do it. And you don't even think about it. It's like, yeah, that's the kind of bike you want. Now, it will have its limitations. Yes. It's got limitations. Everything has limitations. If you're on a serious single track with a lot of rocks, baby head side rocks, all this kind of stuff, you're going to struggle. Steep hills and loose gravel, stuff like that, you're going to struggle because it ain't built that like for that. The suspension on it here in Illinois has been so hot that we've got humps and bumps about every it's like a railroad track, tickety tick, tickety tick, tickety tick, okay? And sometimes you'll just about leave the seat depending on what speed you're traveling. If you're running 60, 65 mile an hour, you'll leave the seat for just a second, right? But when I'm running on gravel roads like this here, it does a marvelous job. So everything has its limits. But this bike I have had more fun on, and I've done more things on. And like I said, if a person just wants to get out there and just enjoy a little bit of everything and just have fun, this bike is it. It is it. Like I said, the 500X, I like the 500X, but I rode the 500X and it handled just as good, but I didn't like that 19-inch front wheel. I think it's 19. It's either 17 or 19. And another thing about it is, and here again, I don't like electronics. I'm sorry. If you got to ride a motorcycle for the electronics, you probably just shouldn't be riding a motorcycle, because this bike here, like I said, every hump, every bump, everything that goes on, I feel on this bike, and I know I have to respond. The bike don't have to respond. The bike don't have to do nothing. All it has to do is just keep going there, and I'll do the thinking for both of us, and that's why I like it. This bike is great. It handles great. It tracks good. It just, you name it, it does it all good. Would I recommend this bike? Hell yeah, I recommend it. It is a great machine. Okay, I'm not saying anything bad about any of the machine I've got. I love them all, but this bike here seems like every time I get ready to go somewhere, I just always grab the old black one. It's like, man, I got to ride that thing. But now, see, this is what I've always said. Pick the bike for the way you're going to ride. This is my adventure bike. This is a bike I can get out there and just get lost on. Now, if I found a road that this bike would have trouble going down, and I know a couple of them, and I wouldn't take this bike on, then I ride the 300L, the XR650L, the KLE 230, because they are more dirt bike, more dirt oriented than what this thing here is. So that's what I'm saying. And then if I was going to do a long trip, well, matter of fact, the other day we did do a long trip, about 300 miles, and I rode the Tenere, okay, because it rides so much better. It rides better than this. Now, as far as handling goes, it don't handle any better, but it just rides better, okay, because it's heavier. Got a little more power. But anyway, that's what I'm saying. You pick the bike for the way you're going to ride. But if you can only afford one bike and you want to do a little bit of everything, you wouldn't have any trouble with this bike here, even if you had to commute back and forth to work. We'll just say 20 miles, or city driving. This thing here will do it. It'll do it. It'll just flat do it. So anyway, if you're looking to buy a good bike a moderate bike that you can do a little bit of everything on and just really have a blast on, I highly recommend this bike. And this is the first bike that's came out in many, many years I would recommend. I thought the Tenere was going to be the greatest bike, and it is a good bike, but they made the Tenere. The only bad thing about the Tenere is the center of gravity is a lot higher, and it handles good, but you can tell the weight's up high. Okay. Matter of fact, the other day I was in the parking lot there and I dropped the damn thing. First time I ever dropped it since 21. First time ever, and it was just because I just got overbalanced. So thank God for crash bars. But anyway, KLE 500, you betcha. Fun bike, you betcha. Is a good bike, you betcha. And for the price I gave for mine, it's priced right. So I highly recommend it. Anyway, hey, ride safe and ride free from the river bottom.